So really, the whole project with the Zoom B14 started with a Pod X3 Live. Old guy that was really busted up, and the switches on these things were notorious for being pretty rough. So I drilled out the boards and I rewired things in. Ran into some issues with the grounding. I think it has to do with the fact that now these switches ground to the case. But for the most part, this works and functions fine, except for obviously need a few more switches. But it's just interesting as I work on these projects, the things I'm learning about. Well, hey, this ribbon cable over here, the ground or contacts, I guess we'll say, are separated for these on their ground lines. So that makes me think that it's the chassis that is making things be a little bit problematic. So it's just a really cool learning experience when you start taking things apart, especially some of this stuff that, you know, if this doesn't end up working as planned, it's not that big of a deal because this wasn't my main board or anything. This is kind of a secondary thing. Also, I did notice, and here you can see this capacitor is a little bit bulged. So something to pay attention to on that one too. Anyway, so just this is kind of a fun project that I've been working on. Is working on the inside of this pod a little bit, placing the switches. You know, it's not the best looking thing. It doesn't have the setup that the stock switches had, but these are heavy duty and they're not going to go bad like the other ones did. So anyway, it's something I've been working on. It's been kind of fun to dive into some of the inner workings and electronics of things.